feel bad for the people who have to watch you and live through that. Well, that's why I only get 3 people watching anymore since I started doing things to protect Charlie's identity. That's okay. I can figure out for you. I'm going as far as I can to make it so that my client's identity is protected. Yes, friend?
Are you okay for this, Miss Friend?
Yeah, you're logged out, that's fine.
Well, bro! Wow. Oh my god!
I thought it would bring you to the sign-in button. That one button. How about I just have it covered? If screens keep being a distraction, then I'll go back to saying screens need to be off. Just minimize, please. Minimize our robot. And nice. So it does get clear. Dude, you really have to brush yourself. No, you saw. We all saw that.
Yeah. I'm trying to I'm trying to stop. Okay.
Alright, whenever you're ready, friend.
Yep.
Alright, I will ask for the screen to be up. I'm gonna reinforce the rules that have screens off. It looks like. You turn
I'm
the
not
screen.
doing it.
Thank you. Hey.
It is 1:25. Alright. You guys ready, my friends?
Charlie, you wanna hold down your trigger? Okay, how long is this one?
You know, if Charlie asks, I'll look, but you're a big boy. You can just go through since you already had tons of media. Alright, you guys ready? Mark chapter 9, 2-13. The Transfiguration. A week later, Jesus took Peter, James, and John away by themselves and went up a high mountain. We didn't do the Transfiguration. No, last time was the predicts his death. That's when this is when he takes them to. Yeah, this is when they're like, no, you're not going to die. That's not how Messiahs die. This is different. This is when Jesus gets all shiny. So are you ready for Jesus to get all shiny? Okay. A week later, Jesus took Peter, James, and John away by themselves and went up a high mountain. There he was transformed before their eyes. His clothes shone with a whiteness that no laundry on earth can match. Elijah appeared to them, and Moses too, and they were talking with Jesus. Teacher, said Peter as he saw this, it's great to be here. I'll tell you what, we'll make 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. That's fine. I can wait. It's just a lot of distracting sounds. Are you sure? Positive? Sure? Uh-huh. Sure? Okay.
Wait, first, do you have any of that water flavoring thing? Do you have any of that water flavoring stuff?
Did you bring an ice drink?
No.
You could just drink water.
But like water.
Yeah, just drink flat water. Should have brought something.
Thank you.
Let's try these ones. We give you this.
We do have 3 of them, Char. Okay. You're good?
Yes.
Sweet. A week later, Jesus took Peter, James, and John away by themselves, and went up a high mountain. There he was transformed before their eyes. His clothes shone with a whiteness that no longer on earth could match. Elijah appeared to them, and Moses too, and they were talking with Jesus. "Teacher," said Peter as he saw this, "it's great to be here. I'll tell you what. We'll make 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He didn't know what to say. They were terrified. Then a cloud overshadowed them, and the voice came out of the cloud. "This is my son, the one I love. Listen to him." Then quite suddenly they looked round and saw nobody there anymore, only Jesus with them. As they came down the mountain, Jesus instructed them not to talk to anyone about what they had seen, until, he said, the Son of Man has been raised from the dead. They held on to this saying among themselves, puzzling about what this rising from the dead. Sure.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay. As they came down the mountain, Jesus instructed them not to talk to anyone about what they had seen, until, he said, the Son of Man has been raised from the dead. They held on to this saying among themselves, puzzling about what this rising from the dead might mean. Why then, they asked him, do the experts say Elijah must come first? Elijah does come first, he replied, and his job is to put everything straight. But what do you think it means that the Son of Man must suffer many things and be treated with contempt? Actually, listen to this. Elijah has already come, and they did to him whatever they wanted. That's what Scripture said about him. So what happened?
So that 3 shelters. We'll make 3 shelters. One for us. Or wait, one for you. Don't know who he's talking about. Then Moses and Elijah.
So you're the oldest. You should be listening and getting everything that's happening. Why aren't you?
Because he was breathing super heavily and he was smiling and laughing.
So you're making an excuse of him,
Yes.
and yet you're older.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do to make yourself successful? Probably move yourself.
Okay.
So maybe move like right here.
No, I'm good.
All right, Micah, you're the oldest. I need you to be showing like responsibility.
Okay.
I've been very flexible with time as we're going through things. And I've been very flexible with times as he was going through things with you too. And this is stuff so that he can work towards the media. Do you guys want to show Charlie some respect and go through this? I'm talking to you.
Okay, but like.
So please stop deflecting. Just be okay with what I'm saying. So I think the first step is maybe like let's just take the headset off and then move to a place where you can be successful. Right. Do you know what was said, my friend? No? Okay. Do you need help? Okay, I know. Nice burp.
Alright.
Alright, I will. So, Micah, please be the example. I'm going to reread this, and then I'm going to ask you to recap, okay? A week later, Jesus took Peter, James, and John away by themselves, and went up a high mountain. There he was transformed before their eyes. His clothes shone with a whiteness that no laundry on earth could match. Elijah appeared to them, and Moses too, and they were talking with Jesus. "Teacher," said Peter as he saw this, "it's great to be here. I tell you what, we'll make 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He didn't know what to say. They were terrified. Then a cloud overshadowed them, and a voice came out of the cloud. "This is my son, the one I love. Listen to him." Then quite suddenly they looked round and saw nobody there anymore, only Jesus with them. As they came down the mountain, Jesus instructed them not to talk to anyone about what they had seen, until, he said, the Son of Man had been raised from the dead. They held on to this saying among themselves, puzzling about what this...
I'm trying to listen, and you're just making faces in front of me.
So what do we need to do to have you successful, my friend? Okay. I'll quickly recap and then we go into commentary, okay? Since we're just having a hard time right now. Okay, so you do. So if you need help, that's okay. So what's happened here, my friend? So that we know what we read. You just told me you already know. It's okay to say if you don't know. Because we keep getting distracted. We read it, but we were not listening. Were you listening? Okay. The reason why we made it shorter, but yet really good, is so that we could be listening and engaging what's being said. So pretty much what happened, my friend, is Jesus went on a mountain. He took 3 of his closest disciples. And then he transfigured, and so he let his glory shine. So it became like super bright, super shiny, white. And then Peter, not knowing what the heck's going on, goes, how about let's make a shelter, because also Elijah and Moses appeared, which are 2 great prophets in the Old Testament. And they're dead, but they came by and right next to Jesus. And Peter's like, oh my gosh, let's make shelters. So this could be pretty much so that they could stay here. And then, like, the kingdom empire destroying movement can start. And this is when God says, listen to Jesus. That's it. So where did they go?
Up a mountain.
Right. What happened to Jesus?
Right.
Right, he brought 3 of his disciples. Good job. And what happened to Jesus?
Bright.
Got bright. What did Peter want to make?
Houses.
Yep, 3 shelter. Right. And then what did God say? Yep, good job, friends. All right. If you guys keep finding yourself distracted, like, do what you need to make yourself less distracted. It means, like, moving. Moving usually always helps. How about, Jason, how about you move right here, my friend? Since you have the chair. You just had a burp. All right, you guys ready for the commentary?
Yeah.
Okay. Science teachers never tire, so I'm told. And this is what I'm going to do. Since we're having a hard time. It's been a long day already. I'll quickly read. I'll read the commentary, read this section, and then read the commentary, and then we can get right into some media. Okay? We just had a very long and rough day, so I'm willing to be flexible. I'm just going to just read and continue reading through the sections. Okay? Usually I pause and recap, but as long as you guys just don't get distracted, then I won't stop. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sweet. Science teachers never tire, so I'm told, of the moments when a child first looked into a microscope. What up until then had seemed a boring little speck of dirt can suddenly become full of pattern, color, and interest. The child will never look at things the same way again. Everything now has the potential to be more than it seems. The same thing happens elsewhere. Telescopes transform the night sky into a world of awe and power. A good actor can turn an apparently insignificant line into a profound and moving statement of beauty and truth. Take those quite common experiences and move them up a few notches on the scale of fact and experiences. The story of Jesus' transformation, or transfiguration, describes what seems to have been an actual event, but an event in which the deepest significance of everyday reality suddenly and overwhelmingly confronted Peter, James, and John. It's very easy, and they themselves must have known this, to dismiss such an experience as a hallucination, albeit a very odd one. Jewish scriptures and traditions tell of various events like this, when the veil of ordinariness that normally prevents us from seeing the inside of a situation is drawn back, and a fuller reality is disclosed. Most of us don't have experiences like this, nor did most early Christians, as far as we can tell. Is it distracting having Micah behind you? Okay. Can you maybe scoot over and then just for our friend, can you grab your chair and scoot up right here, Micah? Thanks, friend. All right, is that easier? Okay. Okay, well, at least you're in purview now. He doesn't have to fully turn. It's easy enough, and they themselves must have known this, to dismiss such an experience as a hallucination, albeit a very odd one. Jewish scriptures and traditions tell of various events like this, when the veil of ordinariness that normally prevents us from seeing the inside of a situation is drawn back, and a fuller reality is disclosed. Most of us don't have experiences like this, nor did most early Christians, so far as we can tell. But unless we allow skeptics to bully us, we should be free to affirm that this sort of thing has indeed happened to some people, usually completely unexpectedly, and that such people usually regard it as a hugely important and life-changing. The three watchers and the others were of course terrified. Peter, we're getting to know him quite well now, blurts out the first thing that comes into his head, trying vaguely not only to prolong the moment but to hook it into one of the Jewish festivals. That wasn't the point, but the sheer oddity of his bumbling suggestion is itself strong evidence of the story's basic truth. Nobody inventing a tale like this will make up such a comic moment, lowering the tone of the occasion in such a fashion. But what are we to say? Can we look at the whole thing, as Jesus had previously urged Peter to look at things? Not just from a human point of view, but from God's point of view. With caution and humility, we might try. Take a step back. What has happened in the gospel so far? Jesus has, metaphorically speaking, led his disciples up the high mountain of a new view of God's kingdom. In extraordinary actions and puzzling but profound words, he has unveiled for them what God is up to. Those outside look and look, but never see. The disciples are having their eyes open. so that they can see for the first time the inner reality of God's kingdom and the central truth that, even though he doesn't look like what they might have expected, Jesus really is the Messiah. Thus, the story so far keeps telling us about eyes being open and several senses. Cool, cool, cool. And
You're really staring over there.
Yeah,
I've been
I'm
checking
staring
it.
right there. You're staring at me.
I was literally looking at Jason.
okay.
Why?
Oh well, if this makes it easier, Micah, can you move like right here?
He's just going to keep looking at me.
Okay, well, I think right here, like at least you'll be able to see, and I'll be able to see, so that it just takes away any suspicion. Okay? Okay, my friend. Thanks, Micah, for being flexibility. Today's a very flexible day on all of us. Thus, the story so far keeps telling us about eyes being open and several senses, and it all concentrates on Jesus himself and God's kingdom that is arriving with him. Now, Jesus takes his disciples literally up a high mountain, and something similar happens, though on another level. Western cultures is increasingly realizing what most other cultures have never forgotten, that the world we live in has many layers, many dimensions, and that sometimes these dimensions, normally hidden, may appear. Then, like the child with the microscope, we can look for a moment into a different reality, gasp with wonder, and ever afterwards see everything differently. That's how it was on this mountain, which, by the way, was probably Mount Hermon, just north of Caesarea Philippi, though the rival candidate, Mount Tabor in central Galilee, is also possible. What was the inner reality of Jesus' work? He was continuing and completing the task of the great prophet Elijah, and behind him, of the greatest prophet of old, Moses himself. Both of them, interestingly, had disappeared from view rather than died in the ordinary way. Surrounded by their families and friends, legends grew up about their being somehow spared prior death. But now they reappear with the veil of ordinariness drawn back for a moment, and Jesus is with them, shining with a brilliant light. People are often fuzzy about what this means. It isn't a revelation of Jesus' divinity. If it were, that would make Elijah and Moses divine too, which Mark certainly doesn't want us to think. Once again, Mark believes in Jesus' divinity, but hasn't yet told us why. Rather, at the similar experience of mystics in various ages and cultures would suggest, this is a sign of Jesus being entirely caught up with, bathed in, the love, power, and kingdom of God, so that it transforms his whole being with light, in the way that music transforms words that are sung. This is a sign that Jesus is not just indulging in fantasies about God's kingdom, but that he is speaking and doing the truth. It's a sign that he is indeed the true prophet, the true Messiah. That, too, is what the heavenly voice is saying. Jesus is God's special beloved Son. Elijah and Moses were vital in preparing the way. Jesus is finishing the job. Mark is happy for later Christian readers to hear, in the phrase Son of God, fuller meanings than the disciples would have heard. For them, the primary meaning, as with the voice at the baptism, is that Jesus is Messiah. That's enough to be going on with. Once again, Jesus tells them not to reveal what they have seen. This time he gives them a cryptic time frame, until the Son of Man has risen from the dead. Not surprisingly, this puzzles them. In Jewish thought of the time, the resurrection would happen to all the righteous at the end of time, not to one person ahead of all the others. What could Jesus mean by implying that the Son of Man would rise from the dead? Hey, love. Hey, love. Oh, thank you. Yes, please. What a silly goose. He says he's going to close the door. I was really surprised. You're like, I'm going to close the door, and you just run through the door. I'm like, are you going to close it from the other side and hence lock yourself out? What could Jesus mean by implying that the Son of Man would rise from the dead? While they'll still be living the sort of normal life in which people would tell one another what they had seen months or years before, Mark's readers would already know about Jesus' resurrection. But the characters in his story certainly didn't, and were expecting it. Like much that Jesus said, it remained cryptic and puzzling until after the event. The final exchange is even more teasing. The disciples are trying to work it out. Scripture, they know, tells them that Elijah will prepare the way for the Messiah. Mark has already quoted the relevant passage right at the start of his gospel. Jesus has other scriptures to hand as well, though which speak to him of his own vocation. This time, he seems to be blending Daniel 7 with Isaiah 53, a powerful combination we'll look at later. But the faithful identification, the one that matters, is his cryptic comment about Elijah having already come. John the Baptist has done that job. Now there is nothing left but the final messianic task. The task which Jesus has already declared will involve his own suffering and death. All this could remain puzzling to us, too. We don't generally experience things as dramatic as this story. We don't often try to interpret the details of our lives. Can you move right here, please? Thanks, friend. We don't often try to interpret the details of our lives and our times according to a detailed scriptural plot, but each of us is called to do what the heavenly voice said. Listen to Jesus, because he is God's beloved Son. As we learn to listen, even if sometimes we get scared and say all the wrong things, we may find that glory creeps up on us unawares, strengthening us, as it did the disciples, for the road ahead. Now, I actually have a different question to talk about on there. Who was the Elijah to come? Good guess. Who got beheaded? Right. So there is a prophecy saying that Elijah will prepare the way. And guess who prepared the way? Good job, my friend. You guys ready for the next section, my friends? All right. Mark chapter 9, 14 to 29. The demon-possessed boy. The four of them made their way back to the other disciples. There they saw a large crowd surrounding them, and legal experts arguing with them. As soon as the crowd saw Jesus, they were astonished, and they all ran up to greet him. "What's all the fuss about?" he asked. "Teacher," said someone from the crowd, "I brought my son to you. He's got a spirit that stops him speaking. Whenever it takes hold of him, it throws him on the ground. He foams at the mouth and grinds his teeth and goes stiff. I spoke to your disciples about casting it out, but they couldn't." "You unbelieving generation," replied Jesus. "How much longer must I be with you? How much longer must I put up with you? Bring the boy to me." Okay, friend. Alright, I'll just continue reading, my friend. He brought him to him. When the spirit saw Jesus, it immediately threw the boy into a convulsion, and he fell on the ground and rolled about, foaming at the mouth. "How long has it been like this with him?" asked Jesus. "Since childhood," replied the man. "Often it even throws him into fire or water to kill him. But if you do anything, please, please help us. Have pity on us." "What do you mean, if you can?" said Jesus. "Everything is possible to someone who believes." At this, the father gave a great shout. "I do believe," he roared. "Help me in my unbelief." Jesus saw that the crowd was getting bigger by the minute. He scolded the unclean spirit. Speechless and desperate, he said, "I command you, come out of him, and never go back again." The spirit yelled, gave the boy a huge convulsion, and came out. The boy seemed to be dead. In fact, several people did say, "He's dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and helped him to his feet, and he stood up. "Why couldn't we cast it out?" asked his disciples. Once they were back in the house by themselves, "This sort," replied Jesus, "can only be cast out by prayer." Our mountain walk started quite easily. We strolled along the first 2 miles or two, following the red flashes of paint on nearby rocks, which marked the route. Only a gentle incline. We didn't even break into a sweat. We began to notice little by little that we were going uphill. We even tempted once or twice to stop for a short rest. There was a steep drop away to our right, and a wall of rock to our left, but it didn't seem too dangerous. But then suddenly we turned a corner, and there before us, with the red flash teasing us at the top, was a terrifying 100-foot wall of sheer rock. An old wire rope ran up it, beside a very rudimentary wooden ladder. If we wanted to go any further on this walk, it was time for summoning up new courage and energy. We took a deep breath. That's the mood Mark wants us to catch as Jesus comes back after transfiguration. At Caesarea Philippi, he had told his followers that it was time to take up the cross. His vocation and the disciples' awareness of it has been confirmed by the heavenly voice. The road now leads to Jerusalem. Up until now, it has been comparatively easy to follow Jesus. From here on, it's going to be harder and harder. It begins with a problem for the disciples. They had previously been able to cast out demons in Jesus' name, but this one had them beaten. They were as puzzled as ever. The readers are likely to be. We didn't realize that there were, so to speak, different degrees of demons, some being harder to deal with than others. All Jesus would say, by way of explanation, is that this kind takes prayer. Presumably, prayer was always part of the operation. This must mean special prayer, a particularly focused spiritual effort. We are perhaps meant to assume that Jesus' time on the mountain was, for him, a time of particularly intense prayer, giving him, on his return, particularly heightened power. But the main oppression... Thank you. But the main impression we get is that of the disciples' inability to deal with the problem, and the crowd's consequent impatience with them. They have turned a corner in their pilgrimage. Now it's getting harder. People today often suppose that the early years of a person's Christian pilgrimage are the difficult ones, and that as you go on in this Christian life, it gets more straightforward. The opposite is frequently the case. Precisely when you learn to walk beside Jesus, you are given harder tasks, which will demand more courage, more spiritual energy. Did we suppose following Jesus was like a summer holiday? The incident seems to have made Jesus to reflect on just how bad things are now. His response to the problem is to comment sorrowfully on this faithless generation, and to wonder aloud how much longer he will be with them. Something in the Father's statement of the problem, and the crowd's prurient? It's an interesting word. Pruent? No. Yeah. It's a word. This guy has a doctorate, so he has a pretty rich vocabulary. Right there. Prurient.
Prurient. Prurient.
Prurient. Okay. And the crowd's prurient, but faithless interest, and in the disciples' inability to deal with it all, says to him that whatever is going on, it isn't faith. That sad reflection confirms him in his belief. Announced already at Caesarea Philippi that he must now himself go the way of sorrow, the way of the cross, the path of his redeeming vocation. Our eye is then led to the man at the center of the fuss, as in several other stories. This is a parent desperate with anxiety over his child. Are we supposed perhaps to see in these stories a reflection of the grieving love of the father for his child Israel? For his image-bearing daughter and son throughout the world? For his unique son, Jesus himself, as he goes obediently mute before his captors to a certain death? And this part of the scene too, the mood is tense. A corner has been turned, and everything seems more demanding. In the first half of the gospel, many people come to Jesus with what appears comparatively easy faith. They touch him and are healed. It seemed as simple as that. But for this man, in this situation, faith is hard. Not for nothing are his words regularly quoted as an ideal prayer for someone caught in the middle between faith and doubt. Living in the shadowy world of half-belief where one is never sure whether one can see properly or not. After the disciples' failure to heal his son, the man isn't sure whether Jesus himself will manage it. His request is made with almost a shrug of the shoulder. If there's anything you can do. Jesus teasingly rebukes him and bounces the question right back. What's this? If you can? Nonsense? Just believe and it'll happen. This puts the man on the spot. It's now his turn to stare at the wall of rock ahead of him. He desperately puts his foot on the first rung of the ladder and gropes round for help. I do believe! Help me in my unbelief! His words, shouted out in the mixture of despair and trust, that so often seems to characterize our prayer when things are tough. Bring yet more people running to see what's going on. Jesus, the beloved Son, on his way to his own death and resurrection, rebukes the spirit. It leaves the boy apparently dead. But Jesus, in Mark's words, raises him up and he arises. Both words are regular resurrection words in the New Testament. In the story overall, Mark has told us that things are now going to be much harder, but that Jesus and with him God's whole saving project is going to get there in the end. It will take all his resources of spiritual and physical endurance, but you will need to climb the rock and complete the walk, right to the summit. He will take up his own cross, be faithful to the end, and bring in the kingdom. The question, though, for us must be, are we going with him? Are we left muddled? You did fart with your mouth. You went. I saw that. You looked at him. And you went. I think I need. I think Jason needs to check his underwear. Do you need to go back and change?
You look like you're about to fart. Okay. Okay. Yeah, continue.
Are we left muddled, unable to do even what we used to be able to? Are we facing a new turn on pilgrimage, needing fresh reserves of spiritual strength, needing to spend more time and more intensely in our prayers? And when faced with crisis ourselves, do we know how to pray with whatever faith we may have? I believe, help me in my unbelief. When we find ourselves at that point, the only thing to do is to put the first foot on the ladder, ask for help, and start to climb. Now go ahead and start, friends.
Jason. Jason. Bruh.
Yeah, thanks to you, my dad don't have a refrigerator. You made me put it on.
Are we all gonna party? Team of four.
I can't
Team of four. Turn off your
You know, party pay? Now, Bonnie, I'm gonna set my nose.
No, we're all gonna be bacon, okay, Charlie? Look, there's bacon. No. This is the bacon. Alright, this is the bacon. No, you don't have to leave to do your avatar.
Charlie,
This
this
is
is.
the bacon.
You need to change your head color.
Me?
Yeah. It's white.
What server are you?
Same one as you.
Just go to the, go to the,
I'll start the party.
I'm in front of the class. Body, skin tone, body. Dark red.
I'm ready to vote.
Are y'all baconers? Are you baconers? No, we all have to be baconers.
This one is game. We'll fix it after the game. Here,
Wait, what is that? Wait, what is that jump to that? I don't. Press alt tab. Wait, Kelly, but you need to change the bacon here so we're all matching and then we can all be compared. How about one match? It matches the Doritos. It matches the bacon. So how about three with Doritos? Yes, right? Can I drop my fishing rod? Yeah, I did.
Aye, aye, aye. It's going through.
I'm gonna go kill him.
Alchemist is so good. You like use this potion.
But hey, friend, you could definitely ask Micah not to say it, but then you also have to have the same kind of standard with yourself, okay, friend? Well, friend, at that, well, Charlie, that's just, well, Charlie, you know the word hypocrite means? I mean, that's being it. Is as asking someone to do something that you're not willing to do yourself.
Dude, I didn't press it.
I'm easy.
There. Press it. Oh, Jason, you press it.
Put it down because I didn't want anybody to leave. Right?
Yeah, so you did press.
Oh,
The party.
I see.
Press the body.
No!
Oh.
Dude!
Oh. I didn't know that right.
Do that. You just press it.
I forgot.
Hey, Freya, we like to play Monster Hunter together?
Jason, do this.
Yeah. At the party.
Already almost ended.
Wow.
So that's the ouch.
Wow. No way. I don't know if that's my plan on this. It says we can also unlock the wizard cat. Is that a thing? It doesn't actually work. Okay. Why isn't the thing pop up?
Want to do that thing where you drop the die and then I try?
Just go in and load the because that's not something.
Going for a bed.
You have to hit create party.
Why are you running?
I fell off. Ow. Nothing hit me. Sit.
I'm dead. You're calling us hackers
Right.
in chat. What the heck? You know?
Stop behind.
We just go for the safest spot on it this time. Get blocked. Yeah. Get myself. Follow the end.
I want to touch it.
Let's go.
Underbelly. Yo, give me a phone. I can't find your bed.
He's such a horrible dog.
Yeah.
That look. That's probably my favorite right there, where she's just looking at you like that.
Go get one more emerald so I can never see my
I'm trying to get clear. I got 3. Or maybe I'll get 4.
3:30. You got your Intercept the car seat.
I got 4 eggs. Come here, Kirby. We got. You have eggs? Right. No, we dropped some of them. Maybe I can jump in, though. Which one do you have? You got me some?
pancakes and after that, you guys can have mediums good to go. Because you guys have been playing while we're trying to work through some things. You know. That's what I'm asking, my friend, because we're going through.
How did you get emeralds? Don't jump off.
Probably with me.
No, because you never.
In here, behind you.
No, I killed.
That last one killed me. I had an emerald on.
He's got a pearl.
I got armor.
Head to the Wildspar Waste immediately.
Need a better. That was quick.
Alright, let me see. I'm gonna take a look at it, my friend.
He's going for base.
Or see if it actually got switched to the wrong input.
Got a base.
It is on.
He's up.
Oh, you know what? I bet it's something to do with the HDMI. No, on the HDMI. So let's check this.
Right behind him.
Right there. Okay, check that right there. Let's grab another HDMI cord.
He blew up that grid.
There's the HDMI cord.
Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go.
Alright,
Let's get rid of this HDMI cord.
Get a bow.
It's done for. What do you think? You think that's done for?
Bring him over.
You have no balloons left.
I got the emerald for Jay.
Yes, iron armor now.
How many diamonds do you have?
You want?
Sniper.
Pearl.
Oh wait, can you give me one of those? Go. Anything on it. Go back to the base, I'll go over the bridge. He got the stone sword too.
Okay, this is on. Hello? Hey, Justin.
Hi.
No way, I almost knocked him off.
I finished doing sweat stretches for today before I
He
forgot.
just jumped off and
Hey, friend. 1 second. Actually, you know what I'm in the mood for?
He's going right
What are
away.
you in the mood for?
I'm actually in the mood for a Risk of Rain 2 game.
Oh, number 2.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to do a Risk of Rain 2 game with me?
Of course.
He's gonna go too.
Or
But yeah, I
maybe-
did kind of want to try that Risk of Rain 1 stuff too.
Yeah, that'd be good to try on PDX Land.
Because you're not in the mood for, well, you don't have the opportunity, really.
Right now, it's just there's just not a space for
Yeah.
that right now.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute.
I think we lost. There we go. Oh, now the motor's on. So
Your
restart.
monitor was off?
No, there we go. No, the HDMI cord got really broken for one of the monitors. It was under a constant strain.
See?
You know what? I've got 32 blocks and iron sword. And leather arm. He's dead.
But I will say one thing. No command.
Yep, no command, definitely.
He's gonna kill me. I'm at 1 HP. Oh my.
Oops, I closed off the wrong thing.
What are you bullying me, bro? He has your eighth grade too.
Right, switch all these over. The risk rain too. Are you on the join chart? Okay.
Jason, he has a rage.
I was curious because the
He has
Poopy
your
account was on, like, got on to Risk Rain. I was like, is he joining us?
Yeah.
Unless you can bowl him off. But he has balloons. I saw
Sure.
them.
I'll just quickly switch over the name.
Earlier, I was just playing a little bit of Isaac, trying out Lazarus, and man,
Freaking
it's a
fun,
good
bro.
change because, like, one of the generally more boring characters became an entirely different, like, style of play where you actively use yourself dying as a boon. Because you get it every floor. You get a free life, pretty much.
Alright, I'm gonna ask that. Thank you, friends. Right now, today's just one of those days where I need a lot of flexibility from everyone.
What's up?
So, yeah. We have pancakes earlier, so I'm asking the other boys to help with the plates while we.
Ah, fancy pancakes.
Alright, Alright, Charlie, since we don't have command, it doesn't have to be Monsoon. But I just request we don't play with command, okay? So you want to play on Rainstorm? Okay, I'll invite both you and Justin. Classic.
I have joined. I'll play fight instead of poison. Who do you feel like playing as?
I feel like playing Loader.
Ooh. Loady loader.
No command.
I'm ready when you are. I just was laughing at like a meme guide that was on for this game about how to play as multi in Simulacron, how to win. Reconsider playing multi, and it was just showing head.
So Charlie, you want to think with him, you want to think assassinate tactics where you use an ability and then run away, go back, use an ability on it.
As slippery ice. Up, miss. I was gonna ask if we could trade, but that works.
That's true. You don't have that much movement.
I do have jumps at least, so
Yeah.
I'm not completely useless.
That's true. Like a full, pretty much a full melee build.
Honestly, the most ranged people is probably, well, me and you. Because I doubt the Alta our work is unlocked in Brendan's account. Because that's the painful one.
Thanks for taking care of that, Micah. Thanks for taking care of that, Jason.
We don't turn in.
But actually, I'm gonna get it. Oh, wait, no. Wait. Check this.
Hey, Char. So you don't know if you're ever going to get the fungus, you might want to consider shredding the fungus you got. Since we don't have command and we can't pick what void item we get, I advise just shredding it. That's my advice. Skill effects. Anyways, too. Go ahead. I have a. Forgive me, please.
Best item in this game, Flash Shower.
Justin loves the Flash Shower because it pretty much takes away all bad debuffs on you. So if you're ever on fire, Flash Shower. If you're on ice, Flash Shower.
I was mostly joking about it being the best item, but it might actually be now.
You ever have those void impulse, those void implode
Death
on you,
circles.
little circles on you, flash them.
Oh, dang it. Can't do it.
Bad mood, flash out.
Blast me. Hey Charlie, there's a cautious slug if you like it.
After slug, I got come here to scare. Wait, is it normal or what's wrong?
Traded.
Because we always make different bridges. Okay, what? So open it up. He took my bridge.
I might as well give you the forgive me please, Justin. Because look what I just got.
Oh, right. Well, there's a med kit for someone. I already have 2.
Hey Charlie, there's a med kit if you like it.
Yeah. Keep out. That's not always hear me.
Med kit, you get, if you get hit and walk away for a hot second, you get hits. You get healed.
She's not done.
Where's the shredder again? I need to shred this potion.
Or just utilize them for free anti-death. I don't know.
I got the bed.
Right there. You seem to have found it.
I'm thinking that.
Yeah,
Oh, look, a crowdfunder.
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Is there one on? I have this one. That's the deal with me. You tell me. Oh, they hit me. Oh my god.
Oh, nice. We'll get one of these. Now we see. Now green 3D printers is the intro.
You know they won't now that one of these has been acquired. It's just the law of RNG.
No, it literally just removes all bad debuffs from you. It made it sound weak, but it's actually really strong.
Because they can include fire. Instant death by a void. Freezes. Debuff cooldowns that are based using a debuff to consider it.
Why do you have that
I'm hearing a lot of things drop.
Yeah, before you did.
That would be free.
Very nice.
Chant Shrine.
Nice. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
I see a chest, but I don't have can't do it anyways.
Yeah, well,
As also as the rule is that we find a chest immediately afterwards.
I got 0 health! I have 1 health. Oh my god.
yeah, girl.
That's a crit tank and a crit blue. I got crit tank. I got some soul damage. We got soul damage.
Oh, I have an elbow trade.
That's the iron trade now. This is how many tokens are. If I hit the Reaper, it's like the token damage over there.
Thank God.
Hey, I can make this really hot starting. You don't got, you don't care enough. And Jerry, like this. Jerry, like. You're back hot.
Nice.
And Jerry, like. So why are you getting a bed? I got, the instant current boss guy.
Oh, nice.
If you lost your boss guy, well, it's.
The equipment, you got that?
I got put another.
Oh, that, the elite. Whoever doesn't have a sticky bomb yet, there's a sticky bomb.
Boy, that sounds nice. But I think he's right there. And I'm all the way back here. 9,
Help me, I am. Oh.
You have to hit it, you'll see. Can't honestly tell you.
For Mr. or Miss Punch, I should say.
It's for you.
Why, thank you. Mobility, hooray!
That scans the area. I might just pick that up because it shows you all like all chests in the map and stuff like that. Take it right now, take it left.
Go to their back.
Have you found teleporter yet?
No.
Oh look, a do-gutter.
Okay, go ahead, you can use the taps you want.
Who paid for that one? Because it doesn't matter.
I saw my money go down, so I thought I was just planning on trying against the moment.
Yeah, I just said I pressed the button at the same time, so I wasn't sure if mine also went down. Couldn't tell. Because I wasn't looking at money directly. Yeah, I guess I'll take one. Should probably leave more for you, so that way you're
I can help you
porch.
with that.
The big porch.
Okay, so I get rid of.
Oh, wait, no! You're so sick, PowerPoint, okay? Peace out. I know where the photo is.
Alright, we'll follow you. Where it is. Found two. I went to go for that chance right, and I yeeted way past it. One second, don't hit it yet. I'm chancing.
I just got it before I died.
Oh my god.
Do you remember where that shredder was?
I don't remember.
Oh my god.
Scrapper, whatever.
Yeah, go ahead, Charlie. You can scrap it. You can start it. Okay, you can scrap teleports. Did you know that?
Oh my. It's alright. Down. Okay. We have a diamond sword.
Next time you start, or next time attack, let's go.
Okay. You know what? I've got a perfect idea. We go to different. So we go if we kill them, then we go to both the diamond ones. Okay? We get 3 then. And then we just get diamond armor. And then we get farm them. Yeah, right. And we just make kill them. Get ready.
Go to the bed.
Get off, boys! Get it?
If you see like a green 3D printer, let me know.
Definitely do. I need to hit a scrapper before we leave though.
Yep, so Charlie, we gotta find a scrapper before we go, okay? Because Charlie, Justin and I both have junk that we wanna scrap. I think Justin saw one before. We see where it's at.
Yeah.
Because I think I saw you use it earlier,
No,
didn't
I'm
I?
using like a 3D printer. I mean, not 3D, yeah, it's a basic 3D printer.
Oh.
I was doing it until I got rid of the item that I wanted to get rid of.
I see.
Can make it really bad and fall off.
Alright?
Oh.
Guess I'll just have to deal with medic.
Darn it. I was hoping to get rid of one of my 7 glasses. Not that.
Rip.
Alright.
Imagine losing your crowbar from our crowbars.
Yep.
Alright.
You have to act fast.
We can hit a new altar. I would like to have some time freeze for once I can use the restroom.
Okay.
Really bad.
Oh, scrapper, literally right here.
Nice. Alright, Justin.
And also 3D printer.
What?
No, you have to
Sure, I'll take it.
That's why I tried to find a box and I placed it there and it fell off.
Ukulele, I have one. And while it's doing work, share the music, make a band.
Oh, you're. Just run. Just run away from them. You are. You were.
I just like a billion!
Yeah, you. Okay. Oh, I missed.
Goodbye. Well, I'm dead. Or not. Very close though. Because playing melee and fight against Void is a bad idea.
Yeah. Sure. Something.
It is something. I don't know if it would have been better on someone else though. At the very least, it's free kills.
I don't want radar. I'd rather have the blast.
Oh, goodbye. I am leaving. You have an encrusted key. If you find another Chrono Bobble, I'll sadly like it because it's multi-hit.
Not yet.
Merc, the ad control melee. Why can't I?
Yeah,
Exit
it
does.
does.
Primal Cube.
Nice Milwaukee missile launcher.
You do really like your disposable launchers.
Yeah.
Some health.
Because it's just strong. Like every time it hits something, it has a chance of sending out your reusables. Charlie or Justin.
You, I would say either you or I'm playing more rangey at this point for now.
I just got it. Alright, Charlie, if you want to hit the telly. Oh, one sec, I see 2 chance friends. Actually, I don't have money for them. If you have money, put trans right here and chance right here. Literally right next to each other. Charlie, you have 2,000. You have more than enough to get a bunch of items from that. 2 chance friends right here, my friend.
Do we have a spare equipment? Because I know we had a volcanic egg somewhere. Oh, there's actually a equipment box right here. Let's see if there's any good ones. Nope, not ones for the drones.
Why, Mickey, Daddy, why?
There's a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna hit telly. Where's telly? Or you can hit telly if you want to, Charlie.
Oh, I got the fireworks instead of what I actually wanted. Whoopsies. Rip not having AP rounds. Oh, would you look at that? It was hiding it in plain sight.
Yes, love? Huh? I can't hear you. Okay. Okay. You wanna like bring Bailey in here? Oh gosh, this guy's like all our weakness in one.
Oh, I went right through him.
Let's go! I don't have my forest
Actually, this guy's not too hard to play with loader. You literally just whoop, like. Huh? Can't get Bailey to come in?
Oh, I just phased right through him. Lovely.
What's up? What's up, Sunset? Oh! Ho, ho, ho! Huh? Hey, baby girl. I'm talking to my daughter, if you're wondering. Dude. Oh, that is funny. So even though it's destroyed, it's still considered the piece I'm holding was still in game.
Oh.
You see this?
Oh. Your item has dropped.
Alright, quickly go to Treasure Island, and I'll be ready to go.
There was no portal.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, baby girl. You wanna watch cat videos? I feel like a daughter of my own heart, just wanna watch cat videos. Here, baby girl. Oh. You're like trying to climb up. Alright, here you go. Here, go watch cat videos. Here we go. Whenever you guys are ready, you guys can hit the to go.
Yeah, same. Whoever is over there.
1 second, let me. Here you go.
I don't know what we got.
Alright, whenever you're ready, you can hit tele, my friend. Okay.
Oh boy. Thank you, game.
What a salty spawn place. Okay, takes care of that. Oh gosh, that's gonna. Oh, no, no, no. Getting away from there. Ow. Ow. They have the. They have the salty void.
jailer. I've noticed.
Ooh, Jailer is salty.
Nope. I actually did a little bit of a small panic there when I got slowed and almost just rooted as I was about to go be dead.
I saw that. I saw the little the little thing try following you. Oh no! Please don't pull that up. Please don't. Here you go.
Okay, it's underground.
So, we're safe. I think one of them has hacked.
Barbarian.
There's multiple lunar pods around here too.
I'll take that. Oh, possibility of my death is pretty high.
We just don't die.
Oh, nice.
Rush me.
You hit a new altar already?
No, I have not. There's a second needle tick if you want it.
Ooh, yes please. Mind if I do? Well, found a yellow 3D printer and it is, ooh, a harvester scythe.
We're at underground.
Second.
I will request a couple daggers if you find them because I want to do normal bleed for dot purposes.
Okay. You can take the wash so you get decompose.
You can do that. I'll take this fungus though. I do need more spittage. Are you ready for glorious combat, by the way?
1 second. I want to scrap this watch before it's destroyed because I reached low health. Okay.
Alright, because I found one egg and I already busted it, so
Nice.
whatever the last one is.
Alright, I'm trying to remember where the scrapper is. Oh, there it is. Alright, I'm ready for glorious combat.
Alright, we're just gonna have to find the last one then.
Let's just hit Telly and then we'll do that. Cool.
Sure.
Alright, try. We're going to hit Telly and then after this don't teleport yet because then we're going to get our free legendary item.
Where are you? Oh, you're down there.
They are going to overload soon. That's why I could fly out of here. As I do this, I guess I'm
Against the wall!
nice. Your R, Charlie, also makes you invisible.
Against the wall!
Nice.
Watch this thing! You want to be against the wall?
The distant warring has appeared.
Goes dead.
That is 1 health.
Okay, watching me go to the underworld. Okay, watching me go to the wall.
Sure. Right.
You ready?
Everyone get your war horn? Sure. I'm watching. Oh, we're still charging, my bad.
No, it's 1 hit first. Attack.
Yeah. I don't. Okay.
Oh, are they asking you to play Roblox or something again?
No. No, we're actually leaving a little bit early today, and like, so we're leaving like in 10 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, nice.
They win. That's after the 40 chests.
Oh, the new order. Oh, sad.
Time to find the egg, or are we ending the game?
Oh well.
I'm going to give you the best.
Shouldn't end the. I wish.
Come on.
Sad because this has been a fun match. I wish we.
I'll give you the best from it. This is the boss item.
Hmm.
Talk about RNG being like,
We each should have took an A boss item, Char. But we all each get a brain stock.
I don't understand.
Oh, you can go ahead and take it. Oh, they are. My bad. Alright, I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back.
alright.
I'm going to
I
go to
got
the
I wanted to see if I got
Close your door. I'm coming with me and tonight.
Got a team either bad and break.
No, we did. Yes, we did. You jumped off.
Here, I'll TNT Ben. What are you doing?
Going.
Get Pearl. Pearl or expression Ben. Got 3 emeralds.
Yeah.
Got Pearl.
Hi. Wait. Oh my gosh, you destroyed our bed. Aw.
Yeah, right.
Now having fun, are you? Not funny.
Touch me and then video. Oh, look at this dude. He has an Aries skin. Don't touch me.
No.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
No, wait.
Okay, we got 7 minutes, so let's try to. We got it.
No!
Alright.
This is glitch! This can't
Oh,
be
nice. Yeah, that is glitch.
I think that's
Yeah, you like broke through.
You literally this is glitch!
Alright, I'm gonna hit Telly and then let's go for in game.
This is glitch, yeah.
Okay.
You made a 1D, I am big fan. But he said it, no way.
Say let us have 3 wins.
To my first, we shall go.
Alright, straight to the Telly.
I'm kinda done.
You just done with the game? Okay.
I got saved.
Alright, it looks like we'll just be calling it once it gets in 6 minutes. Boosted.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
I just got one type of bed.
I thought that's you guys were gonna leave before we went to this level.
Yeah. But also just silly me. I thought we could probably go through a run by the time we go, but
We could have if it was a bad run, but we were actually getting a good one for once.
yeah. Alright. Actually, I think it'd be good if I just get off, so I'm gonna get off, my friend.
Yeah, alright.
I'll see you tonight.
Right.
Wait,
See you
wait.
tonight.